Hello students, how are you all? So today we will start the magnetism. So in nature we find so many kind of substance, but few of them are magnetic and few of them are non-magnetic. Just like nickel, iron, cobalt, they are also alloy, but they are getting always attracted by the magnets. So they are magnetic substance. But if we talk about the plastic, wood, especially non-conductive materials, they are mostly non-magnetic. So these are two substances that we find in nature, and also there are artificial and natural magnets. So whenever you are talking about magnets, there should be two type of magnet, that is natural and artificial. Okay, for natural magnet, that is directly find from the nature. Underneath the soil we can find this kind of natural magnets, especially with the coals. In the mines area we find this kind of natural magnet. But what about the artificial magnet? Suppose if I give you magnetic material like iron, nickel, then you can convert that magnetic substance into a magnet. So there is such processes for that. I will discuss it later. So by using that process, you can actually convert all those given magnetic material into magnets. So how many types of magnets are there? Natural and artificial. Natural are directly found from the nature, where artificial by some property or by some process we make all those artificial magnet as more permanent magnet. But remember, permanent magnet is quite higher with magnetic power comparing to the artificial magnet. Permanent magnet is always having its magnetic property, but artificial magnet day by day loses its magnetic property. So there are few problems with artificial magnets. Now coming to properties of magnet. So as you can see, there are two important properties for magnet. One is attractive property, another is the directional property. So in this magnetic property, first of all, we will learn about the attraction. You can notice whenever some kind of iron dust or nickel dust are there, any magnet can attract all those very easily. So all kind of magnets will form a magnetic field around it. What is that? This is an invisible field created by the magnet. In other words, you can say this is a field where if any other magnetic substance or any other magnet will come, it will experience some magnetic attraction or repulsion due to this first magnet. So that is the area for the first magnet. Suppose this one is a magnet and this is the invisible area around it. That is called magnetic field. So if another substance is coming inside of that, as you can see, these two substances are inside of this magnetic field, so they will get attracted by it. But this one, the outer one, they are not involved in this magnetic field, so they will not be attracted. Similar thing will happen for another magnet. If another magnet comes in this magnetic field, then it will also get attract or repulsed by the first magnet. So that is all happening due to the attraction and repulsion property. Now coming to the directional property. So what is the directional property? For that, you can follow one simple experiment. Just take a bar magnet and by a thread or small or thin rope, you can just tie it up and just push it a little bit. After a certain time, it will come in a certain position where one side will show the north pole and another side will face the south pole. Again, if you change that direction, but it is automatically will come in this position as well. So doesn't matter how many time you will change this position, it will automatically come in the same position. So that is what we actually use in our compass. So compass having a dial which is nothing but a magnet, and the same kind of the directional property will shown over there, where so the first point or the green or red point will show you the north pole, and the other point or opposite pointer will show you the south pole. So that is the very important one, directional property for magnet. So this is the given all the experiment that I told you. Now coming to the experiment for the first with the second magnet. That means we have a subtended magnet over here that facing north and south. But what if you bring another magnet in front of it? So as I told you earlier, when another magnet will enter the magnetic field of the first magnet, it will get hampered by attraction or repulsion force, depending upon the first magnet's and the second magnet's poles. Suppose if you bring north pole towards the north pole of the first magnet, then what will happen? Then it will repulse. So what we just learned from here, that same pole always repel each other. And if you change the story, if you bring the south pole in front of the north, then what will happen? Then first of all, south is coming in front of north, then the attraction will happen. So we just learn same pole repel each other, where opposite poles are attracts each other. That is very important point for the directional properties of magnet, and that is coming by this experiment. Now moving to the magnetic line of force. So as I told you, two magnets repel with same pole and with opposite pole they attract. But what is actually happening inside of that? So the all magnets will have their own magnetic field, and not only that, all those magnetic fields are with proper pattern. So suppose as you can see, we have a bar magnet over here, and this is the N and this is the S pole. So there are so many line of forces. This is nothing but this is the magnetic field. These lines are creating the magnetic field. So this line of forces always comes out from north, and as you can see, the arrow is pointing towards south. So it is always come out from north and enter to the south. Is that only one line of force? No, there are so many line of forces. As you can see, they are always moving from north to south. But one more thing, this this can increase their area. So it is depending upon the magnet, that how powerful is that magnet, and also the line of forces will be more for that. Okay, so first of all, just learn, if you place another compass over here, it will actually create or point its north to this direction, cause we know north will attract south and the south will point this direction, which is north. So if you put a pointer or a compass over there, it will show up like that. Okay, now coming to few important points for the line of forces. The first important point, I told you that it always come out from north and move to south. Second important point, that is very important, that two line of forces cannot intersect each other. That means two line of force cannot cross each other. It is not possible. What will happen if it is possible? Then we will have two north pole direction in one certain place, which is not possible, right? So directly we can say two line of forces cannot intersect each other. They are always parallel to each other. So that is the idea for the line of force. Now how you can show that the attraction and repulsive property of magnet with line of force? So I told you the opposite poles attracts each other, and also you know that the line of forces always generate from north and move to south. So as you can see over here, we have two separate magnets, that is A magnet and B magnet, where the opposite poles are facing each other. So what should be happen over here? that is attraction. So we know the line of forces always comes from north and move to south. So that kind of pattern is come over here. Okay, so that is about the attraction. But what if North Pole will face North Pole? We know that if same pole will face each other, then repulsion will happen. Okay, so repulsion means that means no more connection of the line of force. Then how it will look? We know that line of force will come out from north and it will shake to its nearest south. So it will goes like that towards the south of B. But for A, also north will produce some line of forces. So it will goes back towards its own south. So finally, what we are observing over here, that no line of forces are coming towards each other when same kind of poles are approaching to each other. That means this is the diagram for repulsion. I hope you get that idea about the attraction and repulsion by the line of force property. Now coming to the process, that how we can convert one magnetic material into a permanent as well as artificial magnet, because permanent magnet is not possible. All we can create the artificial magnet. So this is a nickel or iron bar. It is not magnetized right now, but all we have to do, we have to make it in a artificial magnet. So what we have to do, just take one magnet pointing north like this and south like this. By handling this magnet like this, you can move it totally parallel to the slab, then just take it upward and come in point B again and repeat the same process. What I told you, from B to A parallel, then A to B in a curved way, then again repeating the same process. So if you follow this up for 30 or more than that times, you will find that after some time, this magnetic material become a, an artificial magnet. Acha. So what is the advantage and disadvantages of artificial magnet? That artificial magnet is not permanent one. So we can remove its magnetic property, or we can make it more powerful magnet. That is completely up to us, that how we are producing that. Second, artificial magnets having some disadvantages, that is it is lose its magnetic property very easily, and also by hitting it's lose its magnetic properties as well. Okay, so these are the advantages and disadvantages for the magnets. Okay, so there are also another way to magnetize such iron or nickel bar. But for this case, all you have to do, you have to give another magnet over here and follow up the same process, but in a half portion. As you can see, it is going half, then coming back and repeating the process. Simply it is going also the half, coming back and repeating the process. So by this process we can create more effective and more powerful magnet comparing to the previous process. So these are the process by which we can make one magnetic material into, we can actually convert one magnetic material into a permanent magnet. Now Earth itself a magnet. Is that true? Yes. Earth is a magnet cause it's have its own north pole and south pole. But its own north pole and south pole are little bit shifted from its geographical south pole and geographical north. So as you can see over here, there are two bars, that is geographical north pole, that is black one, and geographical south pole. And the magnetic north pole, which is actually denoted by a compass, it's a shifted little bit around 11 degree from this black bar. So the magnetic south pole is exist with geographical north pole with angle 11 degree. Also magnetic north pole aligned, not aligned with geographical south pole having with an angle 11 degree. So these are the calculation for the geographical and magnetic poles. Now coming to temporary and permanent magnet. I already told you about the temporary and permanent magnet, how they actually magnetize, how they actually having force, what are the advantages and disadvantages. One more thing I like to tell you over here, that Alnico. This is a mixture, or you can say this is an alloy of aluminium, nickel and cobalt. So if you turn this or convert this by the process I told in a permanent magnet, it will actually enhance more magnetic property. That means more powerful magnet you can create by that. So that is a good example for a material, actually a magnetized material, which can be converted into a good permanent magnet or artificial magnet. Also, there are two parts that I told you just right now. These are the processes that we can convert one magnetic material into permanent magnet. Now coming to electromagnet, what are they? Whenever some wire will connect it with a circuit, that is, let me draw the circuit. This is a circuit diagram where, as you can see, this symbol is nothing but stands for the battery, and this battery can be anything 9 volt or the 1.5 volt battery. And also one more thing over there, that you can add one key. Key means the switches that we use in our daily life to on off any kind of appliances. So this is the switch, this is the battery, and as you can see, whenever I will turn on the switch, you all know that current will pass through the wire, and that will have some magnetic property as well. That will create a magnetic field around it. So as you can see, that by current we can create the magnetic field. Okay, so there is a most quick and most effective possible way, thus we will get the magnet by current. So all you have to do, you need a iron core. That can be any iron core, like just like screw and something else. In here you can see it is they are using such nails over there, a big nail, and a copper wire is totally having some turns around it. Then copper wire is connected with a switch and a battery. Then whenever you will turn on that circuit, this this substance will convert into a electromagnet, and this will have same properties as one permanent magnet will have. So what is the benefit of electromagnet? Suppose if you increase the current or increase the potential difference, then, or I mean increase the battery power, then the magnetic property will also increase. Also, if you decrease the battery power, the magnetic property will also decrease. That is the first advantage. Second advantage is that if you turn on the switch, it's turned into magnet, but if you turn off the switch, it's again come to a normal substance. No magnetic power will remain. So that is the biggest advantage, that we can operate it manually. Whenever we want, just turn on the switch, it will become magnet. Whenever you just want to stop the experiment, just turn off it, it will become a normal substance. So these are the big advantages for electromagnet. Okay. So I hope you got the idea about the electromagnet, permanent magnet and artificial magnet. As I described over here, there are so many cases, and one more thing, last but not the least, that how to demagnetize a magnet. I already explained one thing, that you hit one magnet, then it will automatically lose some magnetic property. Not only that, if you hammer one magnet, it will also lose its magnetic property. So by several conditions like that, if you drop it from from a certain height, then it will also lose its magnetic property. So these are the few ways, that is how you can demagnetize one certain magnets. So these are all the ideas about the magnet. If you have any doubt, you can write me in the comment section. Thank you.